Hello, you dirty potters. How are you today? This is gonna be a big video. It's gonna be a big update video. I don't know how long the video is gonna be. You know, because you could see down there at the time bar, it is going to be a larger than normal video because there's lots of important updates in this. You are gonna get a free glaze recipe by the end of this. You are gonna figure out that I'm changing jobs. You're gonna get some tea. You see there's this book in the background. That's important, right? That's important somehow. You're gonna figure out if I'm going to Ensika this year or not. The teacup? Yeah, here's the tax. Here's a close-up of this teacup in sunlight that you can't see. I've been watching lots of YouTube videos and they always talk about this thing called like the tax, which is just visual stimulation with extra steps. So somebody will show up on Instagram and it'll be just a ripped dude. And he's like, I wanna talk about something important. Here's the tax, and then he'll just show his huge bicep. Like it's the tax for having to pay attention for more than 5 minutes, which is not a good sign. This generation is, hold on. The word is cooked. See? I'm still young and cool. Oh no, my wife's here. I have to go greet her, hold on. Turn the audio off when I tell my wife how much I will not, you better not make me sound sussy. Hello, wife! I love you!
Working hard so I can please you.
Nothing happened. First things first, let's talk about the normal stuff because lots of people will find me on Instagram and they don't know I have a YouTube. Or they'll find me on YouTube and they don't know I have an Instagram. Like the only relationship they have with me community-wise is the fact that they find me on a place and they stay in that place. So I'm gonna tell you all the places in which I am and all the things that I kind of offer on a communal basis. Thing number one, I do have my own website where I sell my own stuff. It's usually cups, bowls, and it might be vases and plates pretty soon, mainly because people are asking for that. But I'm telling you guys are always like, we wanna see more fancy vases, we wanna see more fancy vases. And then I put them on the website and nobody buys them. And if you're not buying them, I'm not making them. So I'm gonna put a couple up there in good faith. In a month or so. And if they don't sell in a month or so after that, I'm gonna call BS on it. On top of selling things on my website, I also have a blog where I talk about what causes crawling. I put experiments up there. I put glaze recipes up there. I talk about what causes crazing. There was a whole like 20-minute video that was not YouTubeified that I put up there that was just an uncut version of mocha diffusion stuff. So if you want to see that stuff, make sure to keep up with earthnationceramics.com or just sign up for the newsletter, which is at the bottom of that same website. No, I do not have a pop-up on my earthnationceramics.com website because I hate commercials so much that I consider a pop-up a commercial. I will leave a website. If I go to a website like Ceramics Art Daily and a pop-up shows up and it's difficult to get it to go away, I will never go to that website again. I will leave it. I haven't been to ceramicsartnetwork.org.com whatever for like 5 years because it angers me so much that I'm just trying to read an article on there which is already free information and there's a pop-up on a pop-up on a pop-up and the pop-up happens every 5 other minutes. Like my website does not have pop-ups. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, you go to the bottom of the website, you sign up for it. I usually release about 1 a month, except for in December, because I took December off from the newsletter. Dad was tired. That newsletter also has a bunch of things that I've done. So it always has new Mud Peddlers episodes and the link, YouTube videos and the links, blogs and the links, new glaze information and the links, where I'm gonna be, and it always has like a summation of all the things that I would put in video form like I'm doing for you now. So I heavily suggest if you want to keep up with my work on top of just subscribing to my YouTube channel, you should most likely do that. Other than that, all the other things are in the description down below. No one ever goes down there to read the description down below, which is why I'm telling you this stuff now, but I have a discount code with Filmora, I have a discount code with Clayscapes, I have my Instagram down there, I have my Facebook fan page down there. Whatever makes you comfortable and wherever you live on the social media space on the internet is where I will be, other than Twitter, because I don't use Twitter for super obvious reasons. Now there's one more thing we have to talk about in terms of YouTube and community. You already know there's the like button, you already know there's a subscribe button, and you already know what the bell next to subscribe does, right? You guys know all that stuff. One of the 4 updates is that YouTube has introduced this thing called the hype button. The hype button, to me, is pretty valuable, and it's one of the first times that I actually enjoy what YouTube is doing for some strange reason, and it's only because it's a cause and effect type of thing. There's more AI slop than ever online. Videos made by AI that not only don't make sense, there's commercials off of AI, and most of you don't like it. There's a very, very large amount of you that don't like AI, including myself. It actively annoys me whenever I look up Glaze information and I'm one of the sources, but I know that I don't know enough about the thing. That's why I'm looking up the thing. And the AI is like, oh, I found this blog from Earth Nation Ceramics, and he said, and I'm like, that guy doesn't know what the he's talking about. I know that guy. And I tried it, I tried it. I tried to ask, hey AI, what's the recipe to Van Gilder's Khaki Red inside the John Britt book? And it gave me this. This is not the recipe. I know that because I have the recipe. I have the recipe, and that ain't the recipe. I'm sorry, AI tilts me. I'm so sorry. It just takes information from a bunch of places and smashes it together so you don't ever have accurate information. Other than people using it as like Google, which by the way, guess where it's pulling information from? Okay, we're gonna move on with the video now, but you should know I'm angry. In order to combat a lot of the AI and the AI slop, YouTube has given you the hype button. The hype button is power given to the subscribers and the watchers so that you can send off videos into the ethos, into the YouTube stratosphere so that more people can pay attention to it. You might be saying to yourself, Dante, doesn't the like and dislike button already do that? No, not really. YouTube has figured out that the more that you click the dislike button, the more people see the dislike button and they end up clicking dislike because of herd mentality. You might not think about it on a conscious level, but if you see that a lot of people dislike a thing, you'll start to subconsciously dislike it without knowing anything about it. If you just see that a bunch of people like Labubus or like Stanley Cups, you're way more apt to like Labubus and Stanley Cups because the people that you grew up with or the people that you hang out with like those things and you're like them and you want social credit points.
This is great. Everything about this says exactly what I am and who I am as a person.
You don't think about it on this scale, but like you have a Stanley Cup. One of you has a Stanley Cup, or some of you out there have a Labubu, and you're like, I don't know why. I don't think it's not even cute, but I have it. You only have it because society put value on it, and that's the same way it is with the like and dislike button. Well, some of you might notice that they've deleted the number count on the bottom of the dislike button. You can't see how many people like and dislike a video anymore without like a special app to do it with. So what YouTube has been doing is they've been giving you this thing called the hype button. The hype button is the way that you get to say, I like this video and I want more people to see this video. I think this video is good. So realistically, I heavily suggest like don't hype this video, right? Go to videos you like of mine that you think other people would benefit from and hype those videos. Don't hype any random video. I think you have a certain amount of allotted points per your watch time. Somebody correct me down below, but like I'm pretty sure that you accrue the points and then you spend the points based on your watch time. It's an attention economy and you now control the attention rather than AI slop and like and dislike ratio herd mentality. So getting all my socials and everything out of the way, as well as the new hype button mechanic, that is the newest information from the YouTube ethosphere for our community. Thing number 2, and let's peel the band-aid right off, I am quitting my job. I'm quitting my job. I'm not quitting my job for YouTube. I'm quitting my job because I got another job with more hours and much higher pay. Long story short, I have been working at a beautiful place for quite some time. A lot of you have probably seen footage of it on my Instagram reels, on my Instagram stories, and you might even know from my podcast with my Clay sibling, Lindsay M. Dillon, that I work at like a 55 and older community. It was a beautiful place. The people were awesome. The saddest part of this is that I'm gonna have to leave those people. It truly is the saddest part of this entire video. And I've given them a good month to find another me so that they can replace me there. The new job is going to remain a secret. Because of my training by the Ceramic Material Workshop, my glazes have been coming out pretty good, pretty damn good, because I follow those standards that they've set down. And I do owe a lot of my glaze success to the Ceramic Material Workshop courses, which I just took the self-taught ones. I didn't even take the ones that I took like in class. I didn't go anywhere to take these. I don't think they knew that they're the ones who really propelled me into this field. That being said, because of my testing and the classes that I took from them and all that, a company reached out to me and did hire me. I am not allowed to tell you which company, but they're definitely not in the hobby sector anymore. They're more in like they need strong glazes. They care about flux ratios, they care about viscosity, they care about specific gravity, they care about these things, right? They care about application, right? The place that I'm gonna work for is essentially already doing the things that I do because I was trained by the Ceramics Material Workshop. So I wanna give a big thank you to them because they just gave me a job that it is gonna pay me like 3 or 4 times more than what I'm getting paid now at my current job. Mama need that pill money and baby need that milk, so I'm working. Yeah, boy. On top of that, this month's class, which is probably too late to sign up, I think, unless you go to this website, which I will link down below and see if you can. This is the last class I'm gonna be teaching at IMCO. the industrial mineral company in Sacramento, California. I'll be working like a full-time job, so I will not have time to teach classes at either Sun City or at the IMCO company. I'm not a teacher anymore, as far as I'm gonna be doing instead of teaching, you know, other than YouTube. I'm not gonna quit YouTube. I'm not gonna stop making content. The community online is still gonna stay intact in the way that it is now. As far as like teaching in person and like going to events and hanging out, no. Like I'm not even going to NCECA this year because I can't. I just don't have time. I went to New York with Clayscapes because they wanted to talk about selling some more glazes of mine. Watch out for that at the next NCECA, by the way. That might be a thing. I will not be at NCECA, but my glazes will be. Look for the Clayscapes booth, I'm just saying. And so that's probably the most difficult thing for me to talk about. Now, let's talk about the happy thing for this video. The thing that a lot of you have probably clicked this video for. As of, hold on. Who put a glaze on Glazy called Pussy Willow Mist? That's crazy. Okay, as of now, I have just released a glaze recipe to glazy.org. Glazy is a website where people can come together and kind of share information about glazes, but there's lots of glaze recipes up there for you to try. Unless you know how to interpret a lot of the glaze, molar amounts, and chemistry and whatnot, I wouldn't just put random stuff together and hope for the best, because a lot of people do that, but I do have a profile on Glazy, and I just did, you saw me on camera do it, I promise I actually did it, I'm not messing with you, release a new glaze. Long story short, every single year, if you're a patron of mine, you get to vote on a glaze that I give my community. And you have one of two options. You can keep it for yourselves, and then I delete it in 2 months. This gives you 2 months to write it down, and then I delete it so that people that are new patrons don't see it in the previous posts. Well, this year I gave them the option to make it an open glaze. An open glaze, I mean, you can share it with the public, right? So that means that I'm going to open my profile for that one glaze, and I'm just gonna let everybody have the glaze. This decision kind of came on the heels of understanding that people will use glazes to their liking once it's open. You know, I talked to the people that taught me a lot of my glaze chemistry stuff, and they were like, once you put it out publicly, it's like putting it in a library. You can't really be mad that somebody went to a library, took the information out of it, and then made their own book off of it, or professed it to their class, right? And to be clear, I wasn't mad. I was actually very honored that people do that. But at the same time, my glaze did end up in Amazing Glaze's food safe recipes. I'm not mad. I want to make it very clear, I'm not mad whatsoever, but I also do want to make it clear that like nobody talked to me about it, nobody asked me. I found out I was in a book by one of my, I think the people that follow me on YouTube or Facebook telling me like, oh yeah, there's the glaze, Lumos glaze, I love the Lumos glaze. It's in my favorite book. And I was like, I didn't write no book. And she was like, no, it's in a book. It's in a book. So I bought the book, looked it up, and I actually am in a book. Let's see what page I'm on. I'm on page 95. I think I'm on page 93. I'm on page 91. I'm in a lot of these because it turns out the glaze I released a very long time ago ended up, oh, I'm on page 37. I'm on page 37 of this book, and there's my glaze recipe with my full name, Dante's Lumos and everything. And I'm actually really happy about it, but this decision came on the heels of understanding that whenever I release a glaze recipe, it is going to be made public and people are gonna use it how they want to use it. I'd seem like I'm mad, but I promise you I'm not mad. But this is justification as to all those people who are like, well, you should share it more. No, this is the reason why I don't share my glaze recipes publicly all day, every day. People will take them. I'm lucky that somebody kept my name on the glaze because most of the time people take them, they end up calling it like something else. They end up, and they never mentioned anything about me. I had one instance on Glazy where somebody took one of my glazes and like reformulated it and put it on their page. And then people were asking questions about the glaze and the person couldn't answer the question. So I ended up going and answering the questions about the glaze. The glaze had spodumene and lithium in it, and people were like, why are you using 2 lithium sources? It's because the spodumene comes with silica and alumina that I want. The lithium doesn't, and the lithium's water soluble. But the creator of the glaze didn't know that because he didn't make the glaze. I'm so triggered. So now we have a system for glazes that I open on Glazy. So now what I've done is I've allowed my patrons to vote on it. My patrons decided to be a little bit more communal and release it to the public. They had that voting power. If you are watching this video and you're gonna use that glaze, it's a workhorse of a glaze. I really like it, try it out. Dear Lord, learn how to weigh specific gravity, because if you don't do it right, it just turns a weird color. It's gotta be 1.45 or above, and between 1.45 and 1.6. And realistically speaking, this glaze is just Alabama Rain, which is a John Britt glaze that I think he made a long time ago. I'm not sure if he made it or if like somebody else made it and You know, it's the glaze world's all over the place, but it is basically Alabama rain, but the recipe to Alabama rain is this. And then Custer Feldspar went dark, and people kind of dropped it who didn't know anything about replacing minerals or glazes or glaze chemistry or glaze designing, anything like that, whatever you want to call it. And so I just reformulated it. I used G200 feldspar, and it even works with Mahavir feldspar, which is my preferred feldspar. It's just better to me for some reason. I've tried it with both, and I like Mahavir better. But if you can't get Mahavir feldspar, you can just trade it out 1-for-1 with G200 feldspar. It's pretty good. But I wanted to make the flux ratio better, because the flux ratio wasn't that great. I wanted it a little bit closer to home. So I was figuring out how to fix it. Turns out you could just put zinc in it, and the zinc helps a lot with the pinkish opalescent color that it gives. So instead of naming it like Alabama Rain V2, I credited Alabama Rain in the Glaze profile, so I let everybody know in the notes. This is basically reformulated Alabama Rain. I'm not trying to take all the credit for it, but I did reformulate it. By the end of the glaze, it ended up being an entirely different glaze. The recipe isn't even really that close to Alabama Rain anymore. And I named the glaze Zinkanabish, and you will figure out why once you go to the link down below to my Glaze profile and you read the lore on the description page, because I always leave flavor text on all of the glazes that I make. Even the redeveloped ones, I leave flavor text. Woo! That's it. That's the entire video. We are going to make a separate video about this because I ended up in a glaze book and I'm very excited about it. My mom actually bought this so that I could use it for a video so that she could keep it because she's so excited I'm in a glaze book. But this is a lesson for me in that I have to put Dante's boom, boom, boom on all my glazes so that people know that, you know, like I'm the one who kind of, I wouldn't say entirely developed it. Most of my glazes are developed by me and they don't mimic other recipes. But even the recipe in this book was a recipe that I like reformulated off of another glaze like 10 years ago or something like that. And the one that I just gave you is the same. It's a reformulation. The problem is a lot of people don't know how to reformulate glazes, but they really liked glazes that were in John Britt books and online and whatnot, and they don't trust reformulations, and they end up kind of bad. So I just did it, and my beautiful patrons decided we should probably put this reformulation out for everybody else because people are missing this glaze. And since you're doing it for us, you know, so they have that power, and now you have your Alabama Rain back. So my videos are a little too long, but it's really difficult to shove in like YouTube has a new algorithm thing, and I quit my job, and by the way, I released a new glaze recipe, and lots of people don't know that I have, I'm sorry, I'm doing accordion hands, I'm sorry. Lots of people don't know that I have an Instagram and a Facebook and a website. Like the amount of time people go, you know, hey, I didn't see your store on Etsy. I don't have a store on Etsy. I didn't see your store on Instagram. I don't have a store on Instagram. What do you have? My own website. What is it? earthnationceramics.com. And then they come back and they're like, I went to earthnation.com. Your store's not there. You're in a whole different website, dog. Usually each and every one of these topics would be their own separate video. But since this is an update video, I'm just trying to kind of give you all of it at once. And you know, if you have the attention span to watch a 20-minute video of a ceramic artist blabbing about flux ratios and getting a new job and how the algorithm is changing, you know, cheers to you, because couldn't be me.
Thank you for your patronage.
I just fired a bisque load and I'm doing the video next to the kiln that's open. It's about at 300 degrees and I just full on opened it. I'm using this as a heater right now, just so you know.